Okay, wow, I haven't done this in a long time, and it will probably show in the video. Right, so the Samsung Galaxy A73, I bought the phone, and now I want to share with you, of course that I have something on my face as soon as I start filming. I don't know if that really helped, but I feel like it did. Oh wow, because it feels like I've talked for a long amount of time, which I didn't, and now I feel like I can enunciate. What? Gone insane. Oh my god, but my eyes are so beautiful. Wow, my eyes are beautiful. Okay. Maybe I can put this in front here and like put my laptop on top so that I can read from my laptop. Why? Because I don't have a script. I mean, I don't have a teleprompter, so I can't read from a teleprompter. And then if I'm talking just whatever comes to my head, it's not good. It's like literally not good. And now I'm far too away from the shot, and I actually have to get back here. Well, that didn't work out. Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, yeah, I bought the phone. I bought the Samsung Galaxy A73, the 8GB 256, or is it the 8GB 128GB of storage? And I want to share my opinions with you. Actually, this is like an unboxing slash first impressions video. The full review video might come in the future if there's interest in it. If there's not, I don't know.
Whenever I start filming, I have like a hair on my face and I cannot remove it, but it's also like tickling me and I can't film. It's so weird.
So the phone, oh my god, let's talk about the phone. Right, so this is the Samsung Galaxy A73 like I've said, and this is the most spec'd out phone or version of the A series, and it's also one of the discontinued phones from Samsung. Actually, this phone is kind of like in the middle, or it's almost like a flagship, but then it's also not a flagship, so it's kind of in this in-between zone where it's not a flagship, it's not a mid-tier phone, and maybe they didn't know what to do with it, or people were not really oriented towards it, because usually either you go for the flagship or you go for the mid-ranger phone. You don't go really for something in between, unlike me. So I don't know, maybe that's why they discontinued it. Maybe it didn't sell well, but then again, the A series in general is one of the best-selling lines of phones, so I don't know, I mean, but it doesn't matter, I have it, and this is the impressions. Okay, so the unboxing itself, there's not really a lot to the box. You know, boxes now are very slim. There's not a lot of things inside. Of course, some papers here and there, and then you also get a USB to USB-C type of a cable. But then if you don't have an adapter, which is USB-C, then you have a problem. So wastefulness is still a very much present problem with these devices, and I feel like there should probably be an option for you to choose if you're buying a phone and this is the first time you're buying a phone with a USB-C connector, so that you know you can get an adapter which is also USB-C. You have to go out and buy an adapter if you don't have one with the USB-C type connection. One of the first things that I noticed about the phone is how lightweight the phone is. I picked it up and I literally couldn't believe that for such a big phone, this is a 6.7 inch phone, or the display is 6.7 inches, and it's so lightweight. I could not believe. Honestly, right away, the second impression that I got from using this phone, or from just picking it up, was how gorgeous the display is. Honestly guys, the display on this phone, at least for me, I don't know, is so beautiful. It is so vibrant. It is big. It is big. It is really, really big. It is vibrant, and there's a lot of color to it. There's a lot of brightness. It is one of the most brightest, or it can get bright up to 800 nits. Which is quite a bit. It's not iPhone level, or it's not Samsung flagship level, but I haven't had any issues with seeing this phone outside. But then again, that's something for the review. That's not first impression. So if you want a more in-depth review of this phone, leave a like. I don't know what that was, but yeah, I don't know, like my video, man. So this phone, beautiful display. One of the best things about the display is how slim the bezels are. So you really get an immersive experience when consuming media or when you're just scrolling the phone. It's a very slim phone as well. And the shape of the phone, I really like. It's like this almost, I don't know why I'm not even like showing you right now because it's right there, but I guess I have B-roll. I hope I have B-roll. It is very reminiscent, at least to me, of iPhone 4, like the iPhone 4 or 4S, which has more like rigid edges, but then they are like kind of curved just where they have to be so that it's easy for you to hold the phone. Nevertheless, I put on a case on this phone because of course, I mean, it's expensive and I want to protect it. So because my previous phone, which I have literally right here and I'm gonna show you, yeah, my previous phone ended up like this. So this is what happened to my previous phone. Dropped it on concrete and I didn't have no case or protective screen or whatever, and then I had to go out and then buy a new phone. So that's why now I've learned my lesson and I have a case on and I have a protective glass as well. So yeah. Right, moving on. It has an 87% screen to body ratio. I mean, there's definitely phones that have better screen to body ratio, but this one is also very, very good. Speakers first. I just want to mention they sound really good. There's a lot of bass to it, a lot of punch, and also the head speaker, or how do you say that in English? Oh my god. The headphone or the loudspeaker, the thing that you're talking through when you're on the phone with someone, the upper piece, you know, the upper speaker, that also is being used when you listen to media. So it's like a double or a dual speaker system. So it's really immersive as well. It gets loud enough. I'm really happy with it. I don't know what else to say to that. Moving on, the performance of this phone, right? Oh, I forgot to mention that within the display, it has an optic fingerprint sensor. Works 95% of the cases. I mean, I like it, don't get me wrong, I really like it. Sometimes it won't work and sometimes you have to hold it longer. Overall, a really good fingerprint sensor. Coming from the Samsung Galaxy M21, I was really frustrated with the fingerprint sensor on that phone. It was really annoying. It didn't work, like it wouldn't work half of the time. So this one is really good. And also I forgot to mention that this is a 120 Hertz refresh rate display. So it supports 120 Hertz, and guys, I can truly see a difference. Whenever I use battery saver mode, it switches back to 60 Hertz, and then I really see how like choppy or jittery the phone is, whereas when it's in 120 Hertz, everything is so buttery smooth. Everything just glides. It is just such a pleasure to use a phone, to scroll through the different like pages and like settings and whatnot. So it's such a pleasurable experience. Yeah, I don't understand why some flagships from certain brands don't have 120 Hertz, especially for the price, but whatever. Okay, now we can finally go on to performance. Now this phone has the Snapdragon 778 5G. It supports 5G. It's a 5 or 6 nanometer chip. I'm way too unserious in this video, I'm sorry. So it's not flagship tier processor, but it's still a really, really good one. You're not gonna have issues when you're using the phone for browsing, for taking photos, videos, social media. You're not really gonna have any issues with that. I noticed that it's much better and much faster and snappier compared to my previous phone, especially when, for example, I go to Instagram and then I use filters, or I go to Snapchat and then I also use filters. You know, it's much faster. It doesn't take a long time to load things, which is really good. It saves you a bunch of time. So I don't know what else to say. Now, you know, the processor really has to do also with the battery performance. So the battery can be a really big in terms of the capacity, but if the processor is inefficient or the processor demands a lot of power, yeah, the battery isn't gonna be good. So speaking about battery, I don't know, I don't feel like it's bad, but it's also not the way that I expected it to be. I honestly thought going into this purchase, I hoped or I thought that it was gonna be a 2-day device so that it could last 2 days of usage. Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't. It is a comfortable 1-day use type of phone, so you don't have to worry about running out of battery or juice by the end of the day, but usually by the end of the day, you would have to put it on charge because in the morning, you're not gonna have a lot of battery left. So that's a little bit disappointing maybe, but then again, it is a big screen and usually it is on 120 hertz. I guess that really takes up a lot of battery. That takes up a lot of battery, so it's not bad, but I feel like in a year's time or a year and a half, it's gonna get really probably bad. One of the things that I forgot to mention in the beginning was how improved this version of Samsung's operating system is. So this is the One UI system. So this phone supports Android 13 and also One UI 5.1. So my previous phone, again, I'm making a lot of references to that phone because that's what I used. And that was a low budget phone, so entry level phone, let's say. It didn't support, I don't want to say most of the features, but it was just the core features, essential features of this operating system. Whereas this phone, it supports a lot more features and you can definitely tell. So from Samsung Knox for security to how just very intuitive the syncing from or data transfer from my previous phone to this one was. Simply, it is a very intuitive and feature-packed operating system. Unfortunately, it does not support Samsung DeX. I wanted a phone which supported Samsung DeX, but then those ones were usually a little bit more expensive. If you don't know what Samsung DeX is, it's basically their version of a desktop setup. So if you plug the phone in or you connect wirelessly to a desktop or to a monitor, you can turn your phone into a desktop. Yeah, I put here a note that from time to time there are certain glitches or bugs. So sometimes I unlock the phone, but then it locks itself again and the screen goes black and then like turns itself back on. So it's like obviously a bug, a software bug. And I don't know, maybe it will get fixed with an update in the future, but usually it's very like smooth sailing, right? There's not a lot of issues, or there's not issues, but sometimes just from time to time an issue or a bug pops out and kind of ruins the experience a little bit. One thing that I didn't really, or I haven't tested out yet, is gaming, because I don't really do a lot of games on my phone. What I have again tried is a lot of filters, a lot of camera editing, or just like taking a lot of photos and then editing photos. If that really works well, then games are probably gonna be good as well. But I can definitely again try that out in the full review.
Oh my god, I hear again.
I can try that out in the full review if you want me to. Yay. And I think that's it. Like, that is it. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, yeah. Now, one of the most important things about buying a phone is definitely the price. But this is the thing. It varies from place to place. Like, I cannot tell you the price because it won't be correct for you. It's not very informative because in your place it's probably a different price. Because I've read, whilst I was researching which phone to buy, I've read so many comments and so many people saying that this phone doesn't make sense financially because you have the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus, which is about the same price in certain places, or you have the Samsung Galaxy S22 FE, I believe. So for some people it doesn't make sense financially to buy this phone, but then again for me in my country it made sense. All of those phones that I mentioned were significantly more expensive than this one, so I thought this one was going to be good, whereas the S22, the regular one, doesn't have a good battery performance, so I couldn't really go through battery performance issues. So yeah, I mean, it really depends on where you live in the world and how different phones are priced. But what I can tell you is that when I convert the price or the cost of this phone to dollars, American dollars, it is about $420, I believe. No, $438, but without the case, of course, and the protective screen. So we can circle it up to $450. And yeah, I mean, that's it. I believe I've told you all of the relevant information that you needed to know. yeah, thank you very much for watching this one and for staying till the end. So please, or make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.